Without further ado, we'll move the stand over to George Galloway.
Thank you very much, Chair, brothers and sisters, comrades and friends. Wassalamu alaikum. Peace be with all of you, and it's still nothing at Celtic Park. Michael talked about the last time that he shared a platform with me. The first time he shared a platform with me, somebody from the Labour Party secretly tape recorded it, and it was used to expel me from the Labour Party for the crime of congratulating Michael on his election as a socialist councillor in Preston. But of all the charges on which I was expelled, that's the one I'm most proud of, because I meant that congratulations then, and I mean the congratulations now that he's become one of the most famous councillors in the land, certainly one of the best councillors in the land, and an example to councillors everywhere. And his landslide victory in May was, of course, a due reward for 4 years of having commanded the local stage, making a nonsense of the idea that if you don't have 20, 30 or 40 councillors, or we both hung out in Glasgow for a time. There was a moment where the Labour Party in Glasgow had a better majority than the Communist Party had in the Soviet Union. They had 80 out of 80 councillors. And the ordinary people who elected them got nothing out of it. The councillors did. They were all twice the men they were when they went in, because they spent all day stuffing their faces with council lunches and buns. But the people got nothing from it. I was there in Birmingham when Salma commanded the stage, when we were just one councillor in Birmingham, when she raised the question that none of the others would raise. And when the front page of the evening paper catapulted this one councillor, this one Respect councillor, to the top of the Birmingham agenda, the great city of Birmingham. That's probably somebody phoning up about the score. I'll switch it off. Keep you in suspense. The reality is, as was vividly illustrated by Karen's wonderful contribution and the audience's response to it, that all the conditions which gave rise to Respect continue not only to exist, but to multiply. When I first raised Karen's case on my late-night radio show, which is listened to by nearly 1 million people every weekend. Some of you are here only because you heard me tell you about this meeting on that radio show. When I first raised Karen's case, people were astounded that in Britain, in the health service, in 2007, with a landslide Labour majority, the third landslide Labour majority, that somebody could be suspended, now sacked, for blowing the whistle in defense of patients' rights and workers' rights. But of course, those of us involved in politics know there's nothing astounding about it at all, because Blair and Brown have not repealed one single anti-union law passed by Mrs. Thatcher to crush the unions in the 1980s. Despite that, the unions who are being victimized in cases like Karen's, or in cases like the communications workers, the post office workers, the civil servants, the firefighters, these ministers are denouncing the unions that are paying them the money, that are keeping them going and allowing them to be re-elected, whilst presiding over a set of trade union laws invented by Margaret Thatcher and never repealed and will never be repealed by New Labour. Why? Because New Labour is the car phone warehouse government. New Labour wants to hand over our public services to the car phone warehouse. That's a new one on me. But if you don't mind, I'll take it around the country. The Car Phone Warehouse Academy. You could not make that one up. And we have many others. Lord Harris of Southwark has not one, not two, but 3 academies. He's a carpet salesman. Must be a good one. Although he hasn't actually paid the money that you're supposed to pay to get an academy. So make sure you get the car phone warehouse money at least. 3 academies run by a carpet manufacturer in Labour's Britain. Underground trains, air traffic control, the cleaning of hospitals. Is there anybody in any doubt? Why? Instances of hospital infection and reinfection and MRSA and C. difficile and all the other bugs that are wiping people out in the British Health Service have multiplied since the 1980s. They've multiplied since cleaning hospitals became a private, profit-making commercial enterprise instead of a part of the hospital community. Everybody with half a brain can recognize that. Laboratory services and so many other things privatized. By the way, not by Tony Blair, but on the demand of Gordon Brown when he was the Chancellor of the Exchequer.